On episode 80, I'm getting personal, talking about the story behind all of this, and I'm drinking tea. Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to the 88 show. This is the internet's only dental show where we are answering and talking about what matters most in marketing. I am your host, Joshua Scott, and this right here, episode number 80 on a Monday morning here in Columbus, Ohio. Got the 88 team behind me, got the English breakfast in the cup because it is November and it's getting chilly outside in the cup. And man, so excited about this episode. November's featured topic is the why. And this show and next show, we're gonna be talking about the why behind what we do. And on this episode in particular, I'm gonna talk about kind of my personal story behind all this. And then next episode, we're gonna come back with a special interview with a new client of ours and talk about her why in starting a brand new practice and what that looked like. So, man, excited about that. And man, I'm good. You good? That's becoming my default. Like if I don't know where to go, I'm just like,
we're good?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. Tell me what to do next. So I've been in dentistry for 15 years now, which is a little crazy when I say it, because I don't know that I ever was sitting in high school thinking about I want to be in the dental industry. And so, you know, kind of landed here in December of 2002, and we're coming up here on December of 2017. So 15 years later, the first 12 of that, I worked with a practice management company here in the Columbus area, and definitely had a bit of a national reach. And what happened was I just started with them as an office manager, and eventually came over to run all of their continuing education events. They were putting on 30 some events a year, and I got into running those, but ultimately landed as their marketing director because I loved marketing. And so towards the end of my time with that company, I began to speak on it more at events. I began to consult with clients, and the owner of the company even entertained for a while the idea of starting a marketing division of that company. And so what was interesting though is as I would sit down with clients, and really my goal was to help them create a marketing plan because it just seemed like that wasn't happening. It was just kind of pieced together in these knee-jerk reactions to hire this company and hire that. And so I wanted to put together a more comprehensive plan because I saw all the money being wasted and the ineffectiveness. And so the conversation would go something like, I would sit down with them and I'd look at everything and analyze numbers and budgets. And I'd say, so if this were me, here's what I would do next year. And I would put together a plan and a budget. And ultimately they would say, wow, this is great. Who can do this? Like that became the next step. It's like, okay, great plan, but now who can we get to execute this? And at the time I would refer them to, you know, dental marketing company A or dental marketing company B or C, you know, you can insert the top 3 dental marketing companies' names into that. And we would refer it out and we'd start working on the project, and I would inevitably be involved in that, helping them to execute it and control the creative. But what I found is every single time, I mean, without exception, there literally wasn't one time where this wasn't the case. The process always took longer. It was usually spent more, and at the end of it, it just wasn't what we were trying to accomplish. And so it was at that time that I came to realize that dental marketing as a whole in the industry is broken. And through that, I probably, you know, there were 3 things that I saw with dental marketing companies. And number one is that they are ridiculously unresponsive. It just seemed crazy how long it would take to respond to emails or phone calls or questions, how long it would take to get projects done. It felt to me very much from the start that the industry, the projects were not driven by deadlines, that they were just whenever they got to them. And so for me, that wasn't okay. Secondly, the creative just was absolutely deficient across all levels. And you know, and I know we've talked about this before, this is kind of my like rant, right? This is like my thing is, for me, dentistry is it's beautiful, it's inspiring, it's innovative. Like, why is that not being portrayed? From all the dental marketing companies, the website companies, the creative companies out there doing work for dentists, why are we not portraying that? And it just hasn't been okay. And then last, the lack of transparency was the other thing that got me. I feel like a lot of marketing companies shroud the whole thing in mystery, in complexity. And I think when somebody's making something overly complex, it's because it's there's a reason why it's not simple enough to understand it and grasp it. And my fortune was coming up in dentistry in a practice management company that led with profitability. And so I kind of cut my teeth in dentistry on the whole concept of being profitable, running a practice that was profitable. And so I don't know, you know what, call me like old school. I just think if you're gonna invest $30,000 into something, that investment ought to get you a return in the end. And so for me, when I saw that, it became very clear, this was the path, this was a direction, this was the need, it was the why. And so from there, I launched out. I actually started my consulting business first. I travel around the country helping practices and doctors put together solid, confident marketing plans that they understand, that they know what they're doing. And at the end of it, they feel great about it. I mean, you may laugh at this, but I think if you're gonna spend $30,000 on marketing, you ought to feel amazing about it because it should be giving you that return. The practice should be growing from it, and that should be thrilling, right? And so, but from that point on, I realized that we needed a solution to actually solve the execution problem, the creative problem, to handle the projects. And so, man, I had a group of really talented friends that I knew around the area, put them together. We all kind of came together and said, let's do this. Let's make a difference in it. And so we started Studio 88 as an extension of that to ultimately just create beautiful design, timely, responsive projects, and just to be transparent with what's happening in the marketing world. And so here we sit, Columbus, Ohio, in our kind of corner of the world and corner of the industry. And really our role, the why behind what we do, is to find the things that are good, the things that are true, the things that are beautiful, and tell those stories. I think we need more stories in the world as a whole that are good and true and beautiful, inspiring. And that's what we decided to do. Man, I kind of fell into dentistry 15 years ago. But since then I've kind of fallen in love with it. Sounds a little corny, a little cheesy. I think it'll fly. I got Jay Moore smiling at me, but man, that's the why behind it. That's kind of the behind the scenes of starting Studio 88. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Episode 80, that wraps it up. Question of the episode: do you work with a marketing company that's broken? Do you work with a marketing company that's broken? If you do, man, it's time to start asking questions. Time to start looking at that whole relationship and function in your practice. Thanks so much for being here. The link to this month's article is down below. You'll find it there. The why, my personal journey behind starting Studio 88. Next week's episode, stay around for that. Personal interview with Dr. Ashley Hovez of Smile & Company, the why behind her startup. And last but not least, best place to catch me online is at Instagram, at Joshua Scott. Link that up and shoot me a little shout out over there. I'll make sure I respond. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week wherever you're at. I'll see you on the next episode.